Yo, Merry Christmas, everybody. It's
Merry
been a
Christmas.
while.
Yes, sir.
This is Clement, and this is my buddy.
Ebenezer,
Yep.
Ebenezer. Yes, sir.
And we talk about money because money is important to talk about, right? I
Money,
mean, can't go wrong with money.
everything money, everything credit,
Yeah.
Oh, everything finance. I guess it's under that umbrella, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So,
It's been a while. It's been a while.
money
Yeah.
man, what are we talking about today?
Today, I want to talk about emergency fund. It's been something that we've tried to talk about for a long time, but unfortunately, we haven't had time with everything that's going on. You got married. You got married and a whole bunch of stuff. So
In life, I feel like 2025,
it's been an eventful year.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
been long and it just, a lot has
yeah,
happened. Yeah.
a lot of great things though. A lot
We,
of
we,
great
def-
things.
we definitely experienced some huge growth
Yes,
this year.
growth in a lot of
It
areas.
came
So
with the challenges,
the
but
challenges that
yeah,
we have tried to overcome. So, but then we want to bring this topic to you guys. I hope you guys will enjoy it and then maybe learn something from it or reinforce whatever.
yeah.
Yes. So
Because emergency fund, I don't, I haven't done my research to see the data that backs it up.
right.
But apparently, they said the average American don't have $1,000
thousand
in
dollars.
savings,
I've even heard of like $500.
right?
But yes,
Which is crazy,
it is.
right? It's because anytime that COVID happened, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
and within a short time, people lost their jobs for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And if the government didn't step in,
Yeah,
the economy would have been, I mean,
crazy.
people would have gone crazy.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
I
trying to
mean, people
say.
did go crazy. It's just like it was hectic for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was hectic for a lot of people. So, emergency funds is a really important topic for us, for me especially. So, oh,
Well, let me ask you though, what is emergency fund? If somebody is listening and they've never heard about what emergency
emergency,
fund means,
yeah.
how would you explain what it is to them?
So later on, hopefully, we can go about maybe the different type of ways that you would think of something as an emergency fund.
Yeah.
But for me, emergency fund in the simplest form is any money that or any funds that will come handy when you are in trouble or you need money for anything. Money that you or like if your paycheck is not coming, if you need to go service your car for oil change, or oil change is regular, so it's probably can
Yeah.
be part of your regular stuff. But if let's say somebody hits your car, you don't have insurance, or your insurance doesn't cover a lot of stuff, or there's like a quick $1,000 that you need for something, or 500 or 100, 200 that you need that is not available to you right now in checking or in savings, and so yeah, you need that becomes an emergency fund. So if you
Okay.
have that money, no matter how big or how small, that's emergency fund minus your paycheck.
Yeah.
Because your paycheck can be, but for a lot of people, especially in America,
I mean, you can lose your job too,
yeah,
so
it's like
that can also be an
so
emergency.
paycheck. A lot of people, by the time it comes, is
It's all
done.
gone. Yeah.
So if you don't have the paycheck, any other money that you have set aside for these type of situations, emergencies,
Yeah.
are emergency fund to me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's just say I have $500 right now
Yes.
that I have set in a certain account. I'm like,
Yeah.
if my car breaks down, or if I get a phone call and I have a family member who is sick or something that I need to step in and help,
Yeah.
that becomes an emergency fund.
Yes.
Okay.
For emergencies. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So for a beginner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's not even go about the job type of emergency fund
Yeah.
yet.
Mm-hmm.
For a beginner,
Yeah.
I know Dave Ramsey,
Yeah.
he normally recommends having your first $1,000,
Yes. Very important. Yeah.
right? Getting that first $1,000.
Yeah.
But what do you think for a beginner? How much money should, before we talk about the 3 months emergency fund or whatever, how much money should somebody aim to save? If I came out of school right now, got my first job, what would you recommend that I put aside for emergency situations?
You know, sometimes there's always a standard that we have to do this. It has to be certain amount, or this is the recommended amount, and things like that. But I feel like um, any extra money for anybody is emergency.
Okay.
The more, the better.
Yeah.
Because if you are being honest, $50 is nothing.
Yeah.
But if $50 is what you have been able to save as starters, it's good. But the example you made, like for somebody just out of whether high school or college, that they didn't work much, they are now about to start working and stuff. Depending on the job that they receive, they may not be paid so much, or even if they are paid, they may have to pay bills and things like that. We can't just all of a sudden say, oh, you should just have this, right? But I think we should aim to save, I think $500.
Okay.
More than $500 for me is a start.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. We can say, I don't want to say 100, 200 maybe is, because to me, unless it's 500 or more, or we can say more than 300, because as you know, especially these days, a lot of things are expensive.
Yeah, very.
So if you have emergency savings of emergency fund of $200, $100 or below, that is groceries.
Yeah, I may not buy anything.
They like that is groceries. So once the time comes, and that means like all your money is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's there, but then it's gone. So $500 too is not so significant. It's not, but it can be significant depending on the individual, because especially depending on your budget, your spending habits, and your budget basically for every month. So somebody who just got out of school, most of the time you probably don't have expenses, but you may be living with family, or you may have people around. So if you're saying that, usually if you haven't gotten a lot of crazy bills, you're not paid so much.
Yeah.
So 500 should be able to do a lot of things for you.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as starters, I think 500 and up.
And up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For me, I believe in the power of zeros, right? So I remember when I was first, when we started teaching classes, that was the time that I started a business that I went out there, make money on my own.
Yeah.
When I was starting, I was like, man, I've always worked for people. I want to go out there and make money on my own. My first target was my first $100.
Yes.
I was like, I want to just go out there and provide service with value to somebody so they can pay me $100.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
On my own. Yeah. This is not me getting a job.
A job, yes.
And then once I got that 100, I was like, okay, now I want to add a zero to it. I want to do my first $1,000.
$1,000, yeah.
Once I hit that first $1,000, now I want to do my first 10,000.
Yeah.
Right. And then that first 10,000. Now my next target is my first 100K.
Yes, sir.
Running my own business. When I hit that 100, it will be my first million.
First million, yeah, or first 500K, half a million.
I feel like once I hit the big zeros, you can, because once I hit first 10K, now I was like, okay, now I can do first 20, first 30, first 40.
Yeah.
But the bigger milestone is like the first 100.
Yeah.
When I get there, I'll do first 200, first 300,
because
and the bigger is the million.
It can happen most of the time, depending on how the business can expand. You can even jump from that 100 to like 1 million like this.
Easy.
But then sometimes we want to be realistic, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, of course.
Realistic, if depending on how steady, because like if you don't have any money right now, you are now building up. Even if you have a good job, you wouldn't tell yourself you want to save $1 million by the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people are very unrealistic,
Yeah. I mean,
so yeah, that's what
So I was saying that to make a point of
yeah.
When it comes to emergency fund, I will start with my first $100.
First $100, yes.
Once you save that $100, okay, first 500, go for it.
Yes.
First 1,000, go for it.
Yes.
When you hit that 1,000, do additional thousands.
Yes.
The next thing you know, 10K,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yeah.
But I mean, I know there's a threshold that people always use, that 3 to 6 months of whatever your expenses are, right? So I want us to talk about that part.
Yes, sir.
Right? What do you recommend when it comes to that? Would you say 3 months is enough, or maybe more?
For starters, 3 months should be the standard, right?
Yeah.
Why 3 months? Because when you lose your job, which is most of our source of income, right?
Yeah.
Whether you want to create a business for your own or not, unless the business starts and it's going well and monthly making you money, or you can live over your business without even having to work, most of us are going to rely on money from a job that we are working for, right?
Yeah.
So because of that's our source of income, when that source of income is no more or it cuts, now you have to rely on your emergency fund if you have one. If you don't, then loan from the bank and friends and things like that,
Gotta
right?
go borrow from people.
Yes. So because of that, when you lose a job, most people, I wouldn't say most people, some people, they can lose a job today and get one tomorrow.
Yeah.
It happens. But averagely, it takes 2-3 months plus before you can get a job.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you probably may be able to get a job the next 2 weeks, but it wouldn't be a job that you want to do
Yeah.
or in your skill set. So you want this, and whilst you're trying to get something specific to your skill set, it may take time.
Yeah.
So I will use myself as an example. There was a time it took me about 5 months before I got a job, right?
Yeah.
So it's not always going to be 5 months, but because I was transitioning from one industry to the other,
Yeah.
and that's like so many years ago, right? And then because of the skill set and depending on what you want to do, it may take you a while. I got laid off at the time,
Yeah.
and so my emergency fund saved me.
Yeah.
That 5 months, it held me for that. And at that time, I had the rent for the apartment. I got in the Camaro, and then the utilities.
Yeah.
Those but still, my expenses were not so crazy at the time. Even though it still was some expenses, but I was able to hold on within that 5 months because of the emergency fund.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say 3 months is the standard that we should aim for. 1 month, even if you apply today and they call you next week and they do your paperwork, it will take you about 1 month if you get called within the first week to start the job.
Yeah.
And once you start a job,
It takes about a month for you to get your first paycheck. too.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it will take you about a month to 2+ months, even if you get a job right away,
Yeah.
for you to start making money again.
Yeah.
So that is why I think at least 3 months is the goal for starters. Obviously, if you are starting out, 1 month is good. Even if you can do 2 weeks of utilities without rent, like if you're starting out, it's different. But then for all the other stuff, I think 3 months plus is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that,
Yeah.
because I think if you target the 3 months,
Yes.
once you get to the 3 months though, it doesn't stop there.
Yes.
I would say save 6 months to give yourself some cushion.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Like, and then if you can do a year, why not?
So thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Because we are saying 3 months, you can't go crazy. The only thing before I forget is make sure you are also enjoying some life and have fun
Yeah.
while you're doing that. Because the reason I say that, because sometimes we kill ourselves. We want to do this, you want to do that, and then you don't eat. If you want to start for a little bit, that is fine, especially for your first
Rice and beans.
yeah, for the first month to 3, you can try and starve a little bit,
Yeah.
to get stuff in order. But then you also don't want to stack so much money and then like you are struggling and not eating right and all of that stuff. But you can choose to do whatever. But for me, the goal is over a year worth
Yeah.
of savings, right?
Yeah.
Actually, now I want 2 years of savings because, like I said, things can happen. And when you have that emergency fund, but we never want to dip into it, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's absolutely,
That's why it's called an emergency
Yeah.
fund. It has to be an
yeah,
emergency.
it absolutely necessary, right?
Yeah.
But there are sometimes that you actually tired of work.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take the chance to build, and you have, let's say if you have 6 months, you say, oh man, I don't want to do this job again. I just want to change my profession or whatever reason, this family emergency, anything. You can take the time and not work for 3 months.
Yeah.
and then you look for another job while putting yourself together, right?
Mhm.
And because obviously the jobs are not yours, when you start, it may take you extra 2-3 months for you to get it. So you can now take more time to relax and then do things. So for me, as I'm sitting here, my goal is like always over a year, 2+, right?
Yeah.
But then ideally from 3 months, 6 months is actually better
Yeah.
because 6 months is a long time.
Mhm.
6 months is a long time of emergency fund. When we say emergency fund, we are talking about everything inclusive. So somebody like us, mortgage,
Yeah.
utilities, car, and
Yeah.
insurance.
That's where I was about to go to.
Mhm.
So, look at your budget, see all the things that you need to spend money on in a
Yes,
month.
sir.
Because normally when we draw our budget, you can have like money you set aside to have fun,
Mhm.
money for vacations, whatever, like maybe money to eat outside.
Mhm.
But then you ask yourself, if I woke up tomorrow and I didn't have a job,
Mhm.
which one of these bills can't go away?
Exactly.
Like, I have to pay them,
Like absolute
or else,
necessary. Yes, sir.
or else I'm in trouble, right?
Yes.
Because obviously, if you lose your job, you're not going on any vacations. If you're going on vacations while you don't have money, then I mean, I know people be doing
There are
that,
some
but
people that so that there are some people that can go,
yeah,
right? Some people have been stressing the job already.
yeah.
And then when they lose it, but those people, if you have over 6 months of emergency,
I mean, if you have your money,
and
you have
you
your
can
money.
use some maybe amount of that to go vacate yourself
Yeah,
and do meaningful things or just relax and come back, you have it.
yeah,
But then you should, to us, you don't need to
yeah.
go
I
on
mean, you're looking for a job, you haven't found one yet.
and you don't even have money for your current bills. And then why are you
Yeah,
going on
so
vacation? Yeah.
I mean, people just be swiping their credit cards.
Yeah,
That's a topic for another
No,
day.
no, we actually come in this the reason
Ways to save for
or
emergency.
what type of emergency funds that can be had, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
yeah.
look at your bills
Mhm.
and then look at the ones that you need to pay no matter what.
Mhm.
It can be the rent, mortgage, car loan if you have one, insurance, like you said, things that is a must.
A necessity, yeah.
And then you list those, and the total is what we're saying that when you get to the total, start off by trying to save at least 1 month
1 month,
for that total. Then go to 2, then 3.
3, exactly. Baby
So
steps.
let's just say you make $5,000 a month,
Yeah.
but you calculate your rent, car note, student loan, whatever, all these necessary stuff, and then it comes out, let's say 3K.
Mhm.
So maybe after the 3K, you decide to normally invest 1K, you save 500, and then the remaining 500 you use it to have fun.
Mhm.
Now, when you draw your budget, you're gonna say, okay, the 3K, the part of it that goes into funding your necessities. If you lose your job today, right, that 3K got to be paid.
Yes.
The money you save, invest, have fun with, that's
That-
not money. It's not needed.
That can go away,
right?
Yes.
So that 3K, if you save 3 months worth of that 3K, that's 9K.
Yes, sir.
If you save 6 months, that's 18K.
Yes.
So now you can save that, right?
Mhm.
Now, let's go to that next topic. So if I don't have cash, emergency happens and I don't have cash, what other ways can I consider a way of emergency fund?
Mhm.
Like, do you always have to have cash for emergency funds? Or
So
there's other ways?
so before that, first of all, if you have cash, please don't let it sit in your bank account. Whether it's savings or not, put it in at least a high yield savings account.
Yeah, that's what I put my emergency fund in.
We have a video on the channel for that, right?
Yeah.
High yield savings account. Because even when I found about it, I still, for some reason, I didn't move my money until way later, so I lost a lot of interest rate. So some people say high yield savings account is it helps with inflation. In a way, it's good, but actually, if you have enough money in there, it can also actually add to your funds. Because depending on how much, if you're getting a couple of dollars, not too much, maybe like 30 or less, maybe sometimes it could just be helping with inflation depending on how much inflation is moving. But if you have more, maybe like 100 plus, I feel like that becomes extra money as well. But not to beat the old horse or like what we have already talked about, but please, if you have your money, because regular savings, that is only point something interest rate. It's not going to help you right now. Average high savings account is like 3.4% interest rate. So if you have like 10K in that, my math is not good, but it will give you some form of money every month, and then you can eventually use it, you know. So please don't leave your money in your checking and the savings. It's just not a good thing.
Okay.
So with the form, you know, people will argue, people have different ways. We cannot argue with cash. Cash is cash. Cash is king. So they say you can always like if you have cash, you can use to pay for everything, right? So some people will argue cash should be the only sort of emergency fund. And for me, or for us, there are multiple ways we consider emergencies, right? Credit cards. Credit card is one of my biggest strengths, right? For emergency funds. When I lost my job several years ago, when I got laid off, credit card became significant. In the 5 months, right? Credit card can delay your payments. How? You will use a credit card, pay today, you have to pay the next month, right? So that gives you a month for that particular bill, right?
Yeah.
Credit card, and the more credit limits that you can have, the better. Because with regularly credit cards, you can cash out. You can cash out, cash advance, but it should be the last resort because they tax a lot, right? A lot of interest rate. But if you have credit cards, those bills that don't need to be cash, you can pay with your credit card. These days there are new other stuff you can actually take money from your credit. That's a whole another topic. But primarily credit cards are used for paying utilities. You can use to pay your insurance. All that can be under utilities, but insurance, water bill, gas, all the other stuff. And you can just make minimum payments and stuff. And then some of these credit cards, you can actually make payments on them. So like they will all delay you whilst you are trying to get a job or build back up or whatever. So so the more credit limits that you have, the better. Me right now, I'm sitting here, I have over 300K worth of credit limit, which is crazy.
That's tough.
It's crazy. It's crazy because I have over 20 credit cards, 22 or whatever.
I'm still at 11 or so.
Yeah, it's tough. We have a video on that too if you want to go check out. And then if you guys want any extra video, you can. But credit card, to me, is a must for everybody. People argue, even the Ramsey don't want anybody to have a credit card. That's a whole another topic.
I think if you're not responsible, then you shouldn't. But if you're responsible, it's a strength.
Credit is actually king for me. And then if you have credit, you can do a lot of things. You know, immediate things that you need money for, but you don't have. But you know you have the money, so you can just use the credit card, and it's more secure. So credit card is the first form of emergency. Well, after cash. Because if you don't have cash, you can't pay for the credit. So cash fund, and then credit card emergencies. So I'll go over it. I don't know if you have anything to add to the credit card.
No, I was just gonna say it comes down to also building good credit.
Yes.
That's what I normally tell you, that for people like us, since we have the high credit limits and stuff, if I find myself in trouble, it will take a lot before I'll go to somebody and
to ask for money.
Ask for them to borrow me money. Right? Because I can just use a credit card. If I'm struggling, I will use Peter to pay Paul. You know,
it's a whole
use money from here to pay the bill here.
Talk about
and next month I can use this one to pay for this, and I'll do that until I get the money to finally
robbing Peter to pay Paul. We will say in this way. So the next one will be so in that credit card you can also, that's not emergency fund. I'm just saying for robbing Peter to pay Paul. Usually, if you can get a loan. And then you have your cash, you have loan. You use the loan to pay for your stuff, and then you use the cash to pay through it or something like that. But I don't want to do too much about it. So the next emergency fund way is if you have a signature line of credit, right?
Very important.
So I don't know, probably some of you may know signature line of credit, but signature line of credit, you know how when you go to the bank, if you need money, you borrow some loan, you go get some loan. This particular one, you sign up one time, and then they'll give you the loan, let's say $10,000. It's just sitting in your account with whatever interest. Usually it's not crazy interest, like maybe depending on the economy and how interest rate are, it's going to be maybe 9 to 12 or 13 or whatever, but it's already sitting in your account. So whenever you are in need, you will get some of that money as emergency. Obviously, you have to pay back. If you don't pay back, it doesn't make sense, because if you don't pay back, now it becomes like part of your debt. And it keeps growing. So as soon as you pay back, it becomes whole again. So if you took 5,000 out, you pay back that 5,000, it becomes whole again. So every time you need the money, you don't have to apply for it and then bring it back.
That's what I did. So I remember when I got my first home, at the time I didn't have a lot of cash, but I really wanted to buy that house. It came as an impromptu. So I felt like, okay, instead of me waiting for a few months to save emergency funds and all, I just went to the bank and expanded my signature line of credit to like 30K. And then I used the cash I had to buy the house. So now I knew that if I walk into the house and I lose my job tomorrow,
you can
at least I would have a source. Even though I'm borrowing the money, it will still be a source of money.
Because you borrow anyways if you don't have the money.
So I felt like that, it gave me the cushion knowing that, hey, if anything goes wrong,
you can take from that.
I have some source of emergency fund. It's not my money, but I'm leveraging on my credit.
You leverage your credit. So and the thing is, like I said, some of these examples, some people may not find it as emergency fund because it's not our money directly. But everybody's.
But I'm just saying, there's a lot of people who will be in trouble and they will go call somebody, hey, can you borrow me money? Or that.
Exactly.
Like, I would rather leverage my credit to just get money from a bank.
Exactly.
Rather than,
and that's not to say, like, we all need help sometimes. But then that's why you have to build. That's why we are doing this educative stuff. Like, when you build to a certain extent, it will take you a long time before you have to do that. So signature line of credit is just one of the greater ways that will help you fund your stuff or whenever you are in those type of emergencies. Do you have any? I had this thing, but it went away.
I think, I mean, for me, that's the two, that the credit cards and the signature line of credits, that's what I use personally for myself. You know, I have that. I have my emergency fund, of course, but I have that too. But, you know, to end, I would say that having that emergency fund that we discussed, it gives you a good peace of mind, right? You sleep better at night knowing that if something happens, you're good. Because I've seen two different type of people, well, three different type of people when they get laid off from a job. The first person is that person who, they have money, they don't even need the job. They're just there because they need something to do. So when they get fired, it's like, whatever, you know. And then they walk away. And then you have the second person, they need the job, but they have emergency savings.
You have some money,
right? They have some money saved, so they know that when they get fired, they can go 3-6 months without being troubled. So they're like, okay, that's fine. I can go start looking for another job. But it's like they're not going crazy. And then you have the third person with no emergency fund whatsoever. So the day they're losing the job, they're crying their head out because it's like, how do I pay my bills tomorrow? Right? And it becomes a whole lot of like problems because like the job is the only source of income and they don't have anything saved up. So now it feels like their whole world is crashing down. Right? So if you're that third person, then you need to definitely work on at least slowly building up some emergency fund so that if worst comes to worst, you're good.
And the emergency fund, to me, as part of building this, is building your credit, right? Because of some of the ways that we talked about. Because why? If you build your credit, and that is what we've been doing, helping people build their credit, but hopefully next year even more people, because it's very important. They're using the credit to pay for utilities and things like that. If you don't have credit, you won't, and you have to be responsible. Why? Because if they give you 5,000 and you exhaust that and you are not paying back and you go into trouble, now no bank will want to give you any money. you apply for another credit card, they will not give you. They will deny you. Even if they will give you, they probably give you 500 to 1,000 or something low.
Yeah.
Because when you apply for credit, they will check all your other accounts. And then if you have that minimal credit, nobody's really gonna give you any money. You can apply for loan, because loan, I won't say loan as emergency fund except the signature line of credit, but then you can apply for loan if you have good credit.
Yeah.
So if you have good credit and all of that, like if you need money, we can actually, so for me at least, I know before you go down, I'll go probably apply for like 60K loan, 30 to 60K loan or something like that. That it should last you for some months.
Yeah.
Before you probably get a job and start paying it back or pay everything back and all of that. But then without the good credit,
you can't get that.
You can't get, nobody's giving you that crazy amount, especially if they go and you have a lot of debts, you have unpaid credit card debt and all of that. Nobody's going to give you the money. So apart from building the cash emergency fund, which should be the priority, you want to also discipline yourself to have a great credit habit. Pay down your credit.
Pay them off if you can.
Pay them off everything if you can.
Yeah.
You know, live within your means.
Exactly.
Very important, because do I go over sometimes? Yes, sometimes we all do go over.
You only live once mentality kicks in every now and then.
Because like some people say you only live once, so which is very true. It's very true. You should be able to buy things. I've bought designer stuff.
Yeah.
But you want to look
plan for it.
You plan, you budget for it, because some people, they say you only live once, but then has said that already 5 times, 3 months. Once you say that, because when you go, oh, I need to go get this one. You only live once. Purchase. You only live once. Purchase.
YOLO.
So once you do, like for the person who has worked so hard, they have saved some money and they haven't had fun, they can say you only live once.
Yeah.
And you spend some of that money because you don't want to save too much. How about if you die and stuff, right? But then if you are constantly spending, especially spending credit card money, because of you only live once, without actually having money to pay back. So we this is probably going to be like 2 videos or something, right?
I think we can. I mean, everything we've talked about is relevant. We can keep everything in that one video. But the whole point of this video, to summarize everything, is you need an emergency fund. If you lose a job or if something happens, something that can cover you. Like we said, target at least 3 to 6 months of your normal expenses. Build some on top of that for things that can happen in between. And then we talked about the types of emergency fund you can have, which is, number one, you want to have cash.
Yeah.
But just in case for whatever reason you can't have cash, have a good credit that you can leverage.
Yes.
For things like a credit card or signature line of credit.
Yes.
If it comes down to it. And when you borrow, just make sure you're paying it back.
Yeah. And then
that's the only way you maintain the credit.
Hopefully, after you have set up all these things, that should be good enough. But there's nothing wrong with, going to get money from, but we want to make sure that before you ask outside, you have exhausted all of this.
Because I don't know, somebody like me, for me to pick up a phone and call somebody to borrow me money, it will be very hard for me to, like, that would be my last option, right? So like, now, I mean, I know you are in the 300s, but my credit limit goes up to like 120K.
120, yes.
And I have like 30K in signature line of credit.
Yeah.
So when you add that, it's like 150K.
Exactly.
So like, if I'm in trouble, I
don't know if you can put this in. So one thing I was going to add is 401K. I mean, emergency fund. And then the house thing.
Home equity.
Home equity. So let's talk about that. Maybe you can bring it or whatever. So please, so for those who have houses, like you have a house, I have a house, right? I
don't know why I forgot about that.
Like it was that. So I was thinking about it, and then when you finished talking, I just forgot about it. But so for a house, right? If you have a house, you've had it for some time. That house the first house that you bought, by now it should have some equity,
equity.
right?
So you can get a home equity line of credit
So
too.
before they take your house from you, you can go to the bank and say, please give me some of my equity.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, if Clement has 20K in equity, he can borrow that 20K
Yeah.
and use that as emergency fund
Yeah.
whilst he doesn't have money because he has built that equity. The
Yeah.
bank can give it to him and at some interest, of course.
Yeah.
And then once you pay back, it becomes whole again, right?
Yeah.
Right? So
It works like a line of credit. So it's two types of it.
yeah,
You can go in and get the loan,
home equity line of
or
credit.
you can get a home equity line of credit. I'm
Yeah.
actually planning on getting one of those just to have it.
Just to have it, yeah. And so
when I
some of
need
these
it.
things,
Yeah.
we are not using it all the time, but we just
But it's
want to
there.
have it.
Yeah.
So it's there that you know you can use it for anything.
Yeah. And
So-
the 401ks too, of course.
So yeah,
That's your money. So if you're in trouble, you can always borrow
So if
from
you
it.
have enough 401k, you work a job, you have you can borrow from that money as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously one thing you have to know is just like the loan for a 401k. I know when you borrow it,
You pay the interest, but you're paying yourself.
you're paying
Yeah.
all the interest go back to yourself, just that you pay that interest. So that's 401k and then home equity line of credit.
Yeah.
Those are the extra ones that I wanted to add that I forgot. But then those are very important. So if you have a house and then you can't pay for it, we don't want that to happen. But if the time comes, you exhaust your cash, you exhaust the loan, your credit is no more, whatever, and then you have home equity line of credit, we are going to exhaust that before the house is gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, more knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Catch us in the next video.
Yes.
And if you have any financial topic that
Yes.
you would love for us to talk about, please feel free to drop them in the
because people have
comments
been
as well.
sending the credit card to pay rent and house thing we talk
Yeah.
about because somebody suggested. So please do, and then if you know anybody who this video will benefit, please share because we are looking to grow because we have so much knowledge that we want to share and we are also still learning. So thank you guys for watching.
All right. Peace out.
Yes, sir.